Chintan Thakkar, Director and Chief Financial Officer, Info Edge, is joining us on this exclusive conversation. And remember, this comes after a double upgrade from Goldman Sachs. They set a target price of 8,600 rupees and are very, very bullish on the company. Of course, their Q2 numbers were also good. Chintan, I'm going to ask you a broad question before I come to your financials. Employment and the rate of employment has been a concern in the first half of this calendar year. Do you see these issues easing, especially for IT companies?
Yeah. Also, good morning, first of all. And your observation is bang on the point that employment and the rate of employment issues for the IT companies in particular seems to be easing out. Since Q4 of last year, we have been saying that we are getting out of a U-shaped recovery and we are at the bottom and we will be kind of going up from there. And that's what the Q1 and Q2 number has confirmed, that looks like that we are on the path of recovery on the tech side as well as on the non-tech side as well. So non-IT has been doing it reasonably well over past few quarters, and that continues to be strong. But it's IT, and now we are also seeing a little bit growth in the recruitment consultant sides, and that's a good indicator because that tells us about the momentum. When the recruitment consultant starts buying the subscription, that's a positive sign.
Let me see all the, if you look at all the verticals of the business, 99 acres, maybe not that much. Of course, Naukri is the outlier, and then we'll come in a bit to how every day you look at Zomato stock price going up is exciting for Info Edge. But, what is really firing all cylinders? And do you think 99 acres is going to have a tough time for a little longer?
It's a very long-term play. So I wouldn't say it will have tough time in that sense, but I think that's the journey, that's the trajectory, because a lot has yet to happen in the real estate segment. Most of India is yet to be built, right? So right now, 80-90% of our top line comes from top 8-9 cities. There are many more cities will grow. The penetration levels are still low. So there are many fundamental reasons for us to say that, look, it's a very long-term play, and it's not something which 1 or 2 year kind of will decide how the market will move. Having said that, we seem to have reached a certain scale where we are deriving a lot more efficiency, and whatever the cash burn that used to be there in the past, it seems that we are reducing that, and we have been pursuing this theme of growing efficiently. So we have been growing reasonably well, but you will see that we have been also growing far more efficiently as compared to many other companies in the same but. So that's been our play, that we are focused on the core classified side on real estate, and we are growing more efficient.
Yeah, Chintan, it's also Samina joining in. Citi and Bank of America projected EBITDA margins of 41 to 43% by FY 25-26. Realistic expectations, what do you think? Do you think you're going to meet those in terms of EBITDA margins? And also there's, generally speaking, I feel like recruitment margins I've seen are bottoming out. Is that a fair assumption for us to make on the margin front, Mr. Thakkar? And that would be your area of expertise, being the CFO.
So look, recruitment business, which is our largest vertical inside Voyage, that's kind of almost like 75% of our top line, and that generates an EBITDA margin of almost like 55 plus. Currently it's like 57, 58, but it's always been 55 in that range. Okay? There has been little bit it chips away because we have been investing in verticals like Sati. But as both of them starts growing more efficiently, and like Jeevan Sati, for example, it's almost close to being EBITDA neutral. So unless we decide that as a next phase of investment in some of the other verticals, we start investing more, it would be reasonable to say that on the real estate side, if we keep growing at a faster rate than what our cost hike is, we would keep adding to the margins. So it's a fair assumption, but of course, as I said, that the caveat would be that if we decide to kind of start taking it to a next phase, and if we start investing more on some of the other verticals, then it can have some some impact on the margin. Similarly, in the recruitment also, if we start investing a little bit more on some of the initiatives, the experiments that we do internally, then it can have an impact on the margin. But I don't think it would kind of vary too much given the scale at which the margins are. It won't really affect.
Mr. Thakkar, just want to spend a little more time to understand, what really happens as we look ahead. And I want to get a sense from you on the deferred tax. There was a deferred tax of 260 crores that has impacted your earnings from what we've seen. Does it also change the trajectory going ahead? And also, can you clarify the revised effective tax rate impact on long-term growth for us?
Yeah. Look, this deferred tax impact is straight coming from the changes that happen in capital gain tax in this budget. So when Zomato and similarly in Policybazaar as well, but particularly in Zomato, when it got listed and whatever the appreciation was there, we had to book that profit as a mark to market. So the profit that happened from the original cost to the day of listing when it happened mark to market, there is also a corresponding tax provision that we need to make for the notional gain. There will be an element of national tax as well. Right? Now, because of the change in the budget and the rate of gain tax, we had to take that additional provision in our books because we have already taken that national gain, but the national tax element has. So I think it's more of an consequent to what has happened in the budget. That's the increase in our tax liability if tomorrow
With
not have any impact
right.
of how it just the rate of taxes again change.
Right. So just to stick with Zomato and PB Fintech's your startup investments, and from what we understand, 33% to SOTP comes from the startup investments that you've made. So what is the upside on Zomato and PB Fintech, and also are there any plans to unlock further value from these holdings in the near to medium term? How do you plan to capitalize on this journey?
We have been the founding investors in both of these companies. And to add to it, we have many more in early stage investments in these startups. The startups investment has almost become like our fifth vertical, and it creates a reasonable amount of value for our stakeholders. We really don't look at the daily ups and down movement in this stock because we are one of the largest shareholders in both these companies. We do believe that these companies have created a great business, and they have a lot more room to create a lot more value for their stakeholders, and we are likely to remain invested in time to come. Having said that, these are all board level decisions that happens, and we continue to review on a quarterly basis. But right now, the mindset is that we have backed them since 15 years, and we'll continue to.
Yeah, and we're asking you this question on a day, Chintan, that Zomato has seen a huge milestone. They have been included in the Sensex. Any commentary on that?
I think the full credit goes to Dipinder and his team. I think it's a fabulous team. The way they have executed, and particularly in the time when they were far more constrained for their funds, the competitive intensity was very high. I've seen them kind of going through certain existential crises and some of these softer aspects of managing a company, and I think they've done a wonderful job. So that's one of the key reasons why we are backing them, and we kind of fully trust on their judgment. So we are absolutely happy about whatever is happening, and congratulations to Zomato team.
Just one last question, Chintan. In terms of where will growth come from going ahead, you've already highlighted the existing verticals. Any new sort of business development that you're looking at right now, new investments that are being made into new emerging verticals, maybe locally or even globally?
Look, we have 4 verticals, and we think that we have our plates full with this 4 vertical. I think it's highly unlikely that we would get into a 5th vertical or an additional geography outside India. Having said that, all our experiments and all the investments that we are right now focused on is the quality of data, and particularly on the AI side and machine learning side. I think that's where our large focus has been, and I think that's going to be a play for next 2 or 3 years time, at least once.